Ready for the video?
Heck yeah, I am.
Let's do it, Maddie.
Check it out. They work.
Absolutely.
And I have a personal experience. Poor thing, she was…
Everything looks
Really?
normal.
Glad you were not a spinal surgeon. Otherwise you would have done it.
Oh, I am so flippin' passionate about this. I never…
Present practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
I'm Maddie Miles.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Alternative medical systems and when do they work best?
My name is Vish. I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things meditation, yoga, and wisdom based. Also, before we continue, if you could hit that subscribe button and that like button, it would mean a lot and help the channel grow. And today I'm super grateful to have Maddie on the show. Want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Maddie Miles and I'm the founder of Peace Love Hormones. I also create herbal supplements to help you prevent PMS and to overall balance and nurture your hormones.
I think this will be a perfect video with what you do. And with that,
Let's get into the video.
There are large number of Indian or Western techniques of healing which may not have scientific data, but they work.
Absolutely.
And I have a personal experience. Many years ago, my wife developed lower backache. It was
Very
intense
common.
pain, excruciating pain. As usual, I took her to a neurologist. They did MRI and everything is fine, there is no problem, but poor thing, she was…
Everything looks
I'm
Really?
glad you were
normal.
not a spinal surgeon. Otherwise you would have done it.
Then my brother-in-law suggested that I should take her to see a acupuncture specialist. As
I
a
dig
doctor, you know, it was a bit embarrassing for me to go to somebody. And he didn't have a fancy clinic. I went to his house and he talked to my wife for a few minutes and he made her sleep flat on the floor. And Sadhguru, he took, from the heel, he started pressing on her lower back for 10 minutes as I was watching. I'm not exaggerating, she never had the lower back pain ever since.
I'll show you thousands and thousands like that.
I do acupuncture every
not
single
even
week.
with
And
any
cupping, it's
needle,
been
simply.
life-changing.
I was so fascinated because he cured my wife and he did something which I couldn't do it for 32 years. She was fine.
wow. So powerful.
There are many ways of treating people, and as professionals, we have to respect all the ways of treating.
And that's what we're lacking in the medical
Definitely, I
space
would
is that
say
respect and the openness as
allopathic
well.
system is at its best when there's an emergency. When there is time, definitely other systems are way better if you ask me, in many ways. Particularly, this is something hardly known to people. In southernmost part of India, largely in Tamil Nadu, we have what is called a Siddha Vaidya. It's a most incredible medical system, so comprehensive. There are over 300,000 formulations. I don't think even modern pharmacopoeia has that. Over 300,000 formulations elaborately written down. And the fundamental difference between Ayurveda and Siddha…
So Maddie, you mentioned that you do acupuncture every week. Do you still do it?
Absolutely. One of my best friends here in Austin, Texas is a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and she does acupuncture on me. She also does cupping as well.
Wow, that's actually super interesting. I've never done it. Maybe it's something I should try. But I love especially how he mentioned this point about, I think the end, which was the medical system is needed, but mainly for the emergencies. But when you have time, that these other alternative methods are probably better. Would you agree?
Preventative medicine is the name of the game, making sure that you never get to the point where you need more intense medical intervention. But of course, things happen. I broke my wrist last spring. I needed to go to the ER and get it wrapped, get an x-ray. But in terms of healing from that break and making sure that didn't happen again, preventative medicine.
I love that. And I don't think most of us here today are anti-medicine or anti-science, to be honest. There's a need and place for that, but I think just using that for everything might not be the best. And I do want to, I guess, touch on that quick point you mentioned, which was the respect, which would you say is not so much there for these or let's say the, different non-traditional methods of solving these issues?
No, and I can speak for the women here. A lot of our symptoms that we go into the doctor with are totally dismissed, and things come back as air quotes normal when clearly we're not feeling normal. We're feeling anything but normal. So I really appreciate preventative medicine in all alternative forms of medicine when it comes to just making sure that our body, mind, and spirit are healthy.
Perfect. So with that, let's get back into the video.
Ayurveda is herb-based. Siddha is elemental. The only thing is, the skill level that it demands from the doctor is a challenge in modern world. This is something that you have to live, then only it works. The person who administers it is as important as what is administered. Who administers it?
Great point. You agree?
You're talking
Absolutely.
about touch. So who administers it is important, not just what is administered. But the nature of modern medicine is, you write a prescription, some chemist who knows nothing about it gives it, and they take
Lots
it.
of
It's only
disconnection.
purely chemical and it works. But when there are chronic ailments, if there is infection, killing it with whatever, chemical bombing it is the way to do it. But when you're generating an illness from within, correcting it from within is most important.
Makes sense.
If there's an emergency, you have to intervene more aggressively, that's different. But these systems have such a comprehensive knowledge about health and well-being. But the problem is, it needs a lifelong involvement and dedication to become something good with this kind of system. It is not something that you can acquire as a profession and do it. Always it was seen as a sacred duty that you can actually… See, I want everybody to think about it, and I'm sure many times you're facing this within yourself. It is not a prescription, it is not a surgery, it is not something. It's a person's life, whether he lives or
Wow.
dies.
That's a great perspective.
I mean, your existence, it's not a… it is not a case, it is not a statistic. For that person, it is the only life that he has. This needs far more deeper attention than just being handled as a profession. I think that sense of dedication and involvement, individual doctors might have grown into it, but still that's not there as a culture. That is not there. It should not be seen as a profession, that's what I'm saying. Yes, of course, monetary requirements are there, that will happen, that's a different thing. But first of all, it must be seen as a certain commitment and a certain privilege that you are able to either end or extend
Privilege.
somebody's life is not a small privilege.
So Maddie, what's your view on this video and topic?
Oh, I am so flippin' passionate about this. I never say what I do is a job. It's, again, a lifelong commitment. It's also just a passion, and it's a mission of mine as well. And I truly believe, and this is going back to, primal days, like there were in ancient civilizations, there were the healers of the community. And I feel like we've almost, in a way, a lot of people are just driven by money in the Western world and in, our modern, technology-driven world. I feel like so many people are driven by the buck and the price tag. And, there are those those healers who were brought onto this earth because they just have this intuitive knowing and feeling of how to heal the body and the mind and the spirit. And not everyone was put on this earth to do that. And that's totally okay. We're all on the earth for different reasons. We all have different roles. But I do think that there are these innate healers. And again, it's not a job. I feel like if anyone views it as a job, right then and there, that's your sign that maybe this isn't right for you. Because it's not a job, it's a privilege. It's an honor to have that innate knowledge and wisdom, and also that passion and that drive to help other people, to put other people's health at the front of your plates, the front of your burner, and make that your life mission to make other people happy and healthy. I think it's very unique. Not everyone can be that. People have different roles, and those are my 2 cents on it.
Well, that was a beautiful take on this. Definitely love and appreciate what you had to share. And would you consider yourself a healer yourself?
Absolutely, yeah.
And definitely going after that. I mean, it's really important, as Maddie says, especially with something as sacred as a healing type of job or duty, right? It's not really a job. It's unfortunately become so commercialized nowadays. And I don't want to speak for everyone, right? But I do think a lot of friends or just people that I know that do enter the medical field, again, not to speak for everyone, money is a factor, right? With the lots of money that you get. And if that's your primary intention and incentive for getting into the field, when looking at it like basically objectively, right? And just from a higher point, or let's say a deeper point of view, at the end, you're trying to help extend or save someone's life. And that is one of the most utmost privileged type of things. So yeah, no, I couldn't agree less. What are your thoughts on that as well?
I 100% agree. And again, I think, yes, like the whole world, it's just everything's so heavily marketed nowadays. And so to really kind of weed out like what is to make a profit and what is actually for my well-being. And to go back on, I forget who said it in the video, but it was definitely Sadhguru that said it, like it's not just a statistic or like a one-time case or job when you're trying to heal someone. It's a lifelong journey. It starts in utero. It starts when we are in our mother's stomachs, and it happens all throughout our life. We always have to, it's a journey, right? Like it's not just like this one time like, oh, I had some gut issues and I cleared it up and boom, I'm done. It's like, no, this is an entire journey that you're on for the rest of your life, and it's beautiful. So just accept it, embrace it, and know that, there's no such thing as a quick fix. Again, it's all lifestyle, and it's the herbs that you can incorporate. It's doing the acupuncture or the chiropractic care, the meditation, whatever it is that works for you, because at the end of the day, the reality is we all have such a unique biochemistry that what works for me is going to be different than what works for him and for you. So, just really honing in on that and accepting that your needs are unique to yourself, and they will change throughout your life as well.
Absolutely. Great points again, Maddie. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I do want to also mention this point, which was, I guess, the respect factor, right? That a lot of these non-traditional paths maybe just don't have. And I think it's super important to take notice of the empirical evidence that we all tend to have, whether it's the guy in the video, how his wife got healed from a lifelong chronic issue. And I think it's important that we all be more open-minded to these things. And I do have a pretty scientific background myself, studying computer science and doing lots of research in high school. And I did notice, and I'm not going to speak again for everyone in the scientific community, but I do feel like there is this kind of approach which is very dismissive for things that aren't scientifically backed and proven by data, which I think is also detrimental, because it's important to be open-minded, right? Whether you believe in something or you don't believe in something, if you don't know and you don't have the proof, there's no need to say this is true or not true. Just say, I don't know, right?
Well, also something to ponder on, yes, there may not be a whole lot of scientific evidence for a lot of these alternative medicines, which actually in today's day and age, we actually do have a lot of scientific.
It's gaining traction.
Yeah, it definitely does. However, beforehand it didn't, because number one, for a couple of reasons, right? And these are assumptions by me, but very valid assumptions that, number one, there's not much money that can be made from it. Unfortunately, the big guys, they make a buck when we're sick and we're not doing well. So if we're teaching people from, the moment that they come into this earth, how to take care of themselves naturally so that it never gets to that point, profit is not being made. But also, we're so used to the quick fixes here. And I think, even Western medicine and its downsides, I do think that a lot of it, initially, their positive intentions, right? Like someone's in pain, we want to fix that ASAP. Here's Advil. However, that may or may not help you in the short term, but in the long term, that actually creates some really dangerous downsides.
Side effects too.
So, again, it's like use Western medicine very little when you need it, but go back to the traditional forms of healing, ways of healing that have been around since the beginning of human existence. And so to really go back to those, to use the herbalism, to use whatever it is for you that's alternative, that's making you feel well, just feel better. That's the name of the game. So as long as you're healthy and happy, you're doing something right.
I love that, Maddie. Again, thank you so much for sharing that. And just to quickly add on to that, I think it's important to tap into the roots. You know, that's truly the key here, as she amazingly mentioned just now. And also sometimes, you know, when you do have these issues and you're just trying to, you know, go out of that problem, I think the best way sometimes to go out is to go in. And that is the root of everything. So
we have the key for healing inside of our own bodies. And I feel like we've been fed this narrative since we came into this earth that our bodies are lemons and that we don't know them and that we need someone in a white coat to tell us how our bodies work, when really you are your own best healer. You're the only one who can truly heal yourself. So a little 2 cents there.
100%, Maddie. Well, thank you so much for being here, just sharing your kind energy, your information, your knowledge, the wisdom. Super grateful for that. And remind the viewers, where can they find you, and tell them more about yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Maddie Miles. I'm the founder of Peace Love Hormones. We do a bunch of things over there, but I am a menstrual cycle educator. I'm the hormone guru, and I have my own herbal nutraceutical to help you prevent PMS. So make sure to follow me on social media. My handle is @theMaddieMiles. Also @Peace Love Hormones is the brand name. We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, and we also have a podcast channel.
Yes, all of our stuff will be down below. And if you've made it this far, super grateful for you just being here and watching and just listening with us, sharing this energy and this present moment. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and the like button would really mean a lot. And if you have any other video reaction requests or topics, you can also comment down below. And with that, make a great day, take it joyful, and stay conscious. Awesome job, Maddie.
Thank you, everyone.
You did great.